in this area so that we can actually motivate other part of Africa where we need to improve insurance penetration, financial inclusion, and drive the GDP even much better. Protection is much, much needed where we have a lot of risk. So one of the ways to actually improve penetration of insurance is to engage in technology. And technology not just in buying devices, but the technology that can actually drive for efficiency and drive for penetration and drive for enlargement. Data is the new oil. And I think this is very, very familiar, I believe. The oil in Nigeria has been the Niger Delta oil, and that's where we get a lot of our foreign exchange revenue, and that's why a lot of fight and a lot of tussle. Now there's a new oil coming, which is already spreading, flowing through from continent to continent, from country to country. And I want to say that data is the new oil. Data is one of the most important ingredients in preparing a viable business today. In fact, insurance business itself, please, may I ask you, what does insurance business run on? Data. We don't hold, when we do our own financial statements, the amount of, the volume of assets in terms of physical assets is very limited except it's in an investment. We don't have machineries, we don't have plant and machineries, big, we run everything, our blood, our sweat, our fluid is data. So much importantly, this is very applicable to insurance business because data is the most important ingredient in preparing a viable business. And understanding product and customer are best done with data. We can speak long, beautiful grammar, we can do a lot of qualitative analysis of a matter. Nothing describes business, nothing describes products, nothing describes processes better than data. And so data becomes the major ingredient in driving any business today in 21st century. Many organizations have started concentrating on data, and I believe a number of us have begun to shift our focus on data. An increasing use of data provides opportunity to those of us, particularly in Black community. In the insurance space, data is critical towards building a viable insurance firm. Let's go a little bit. How are businesses using data today? Businesses use data today in all the functions of the businesses, all the areas of business. Both marketing, which has to do with the demand side, you need to be able to understand the customers and the prospects and the clients. Before you acquire the customers, when you acquire the customers, and to engage and retain the customers, you must continue to understand the customer. So data is from prospecting to acquisition to management. You must continue to understand the customer. And that's why data is very important on the marketing side. And today you see that a lot of information on advertisement is right around digital marketing. On sales side as well, data is very important. To engage a prospect effectively, you need to be able to have understanding of insight about what you're about to talk about, your product, as well as the customer buying process. How does this customer take decision in buying this particular product? Why would the customer be excited to buy this particular life insurance product? If you approach a 24-year-old person and you want to sell a life insurance product to the person, what do you think the person will likely say? And just say, I have a beautiful life insurance for you. And if you only buy it, it means that when you are no longer around, somebody will get a lot of benefits. What would the person say to you? Excuse me, do you have something else to say? If it's in Nigeria, the person will say, Fiakwa, in the east. If it's in the west, we say, I reject it. If it is in the north, I think we just say, God forbid, Allah something, I've forgotten the name, the way it's said. So everybody will not, such young people will not respond to you. They will not buy. But if you have an understanding, the data of the profile of this person, this is a young person who just finished university, upward mobile, she's thinking or is thinking of excellent career to build and to, in fact, she wants to work quickly and gather a lot of fund and by 40 retires and begin to go all around the world and enjoy herself or enjoying himself all around the world. You have the data of the lifestyle of this particular young person, the likelihood of the job this person will get, the environment this person will operate from, the likely salary space that he's going to have in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. All of these data put together will give you an insight into what sort of products, what sort of life insurance configuration will I be able to offer to this profile that will make a good sale. So data, even in selling to that particular customer, according to their profiles, according to their segmentation, will go a long way to be able to help us. And so on the customer acquisition side, it works. On the lead side, it works. And even measuring performance of that which is done, you require a lot of data. During the height of COVID last year, when all businesses were shut down, most of the retail stores were closed down. And from the analysis from CNBC, we saw that almost all retail stores, they lost businesses because there was no gathering, from negative 3.5 to as high as 78.8. I know all of us remember a popular retail chain in the UK that went out of business for that period because they were not online, they had no presence at all. But guess what? Non-retail stores who engage in data, online presence, and understand what consumer wanted at that particular time, they grew averagely by 8.4%. So it means that even in challenging times, people who make use of data and engage it properly, they continue to grow. Let's learn a little bit from the fintechs, which is very, very, the group of people who use technology, not just technology, but they use data well. And in this part of the world, in Nigeria particularly, you have the large portion in payment and transfer. And you recall, these are the people who have raised the biggest chunk of fund in the last 3 years. We have the unicorn, the likes of Flutterwave, the likes of InterSwitch, and gradually half unicorn are coming up, the Paystack, and a lot of them. Unicorn simply means company whose valuation has become $1 billion. And even companies like ours, who are meant to be data company, that is, insurance companies, we are the fundamental data company. Hardly has any of us in our own local space done a valuation of $1 billion. Maybe not many. How many of us? I don't even think there's any. So, and then you see a couple of 3, 4, 5, 6 years old company focusing on data, focusing on technology, getting into specific areas in the financial service chain and becoming very, very much large. And that will continue. Also, of course, a few of these fintech companies are also coming into the insurance space, which again, and they are growing very rapidly. Both life insurance, health insurance, and general insurance. The whole idea is to say that the future of viable business will be business that use data very well. Business that use technology with data concentration. Who understand how to use data. Who does well with data. Nigerian population, for example, about 200 million people, is projected at 4% growth rate, and in another couple of years, it's going to be going to around 230 million. And we have huge opportunities because the last count of telco in 2019-2020 was about over 120 million people holding mobile phones. And they can all use, about 60% can use internet on them. And that shows the amount of data already that we have, the amount of data we already sit on, the amount of data, not in terabytes, in zogabytes, in multiples of terabytes, that can make meaningful insights that we can mine to take decision across the entire experience of our business, particularly in life insurance. So I would like to just before I ask that question, sorry, this thing is moving very fast. I see the even increasing funding to digital and data firms, and life insurance itself is meant to be the data firm. That's my point here, that actually, of all the insurance sectors, P&C, property and casualty, or non-life, as we call it in this part of the world, life includes health, according to the insurance license of Nigeria. Life and health are under the same insurance category. Of all of that, where data really make a lot of sense is in life and health. So we must be able to build a very strong data system and mine it and take very good decision that is going to drive our business across board. I look forward to see that in the next couple of years, life insurance company will be able to have consolidated data architecture base that will enable us to grow the business so much rapidly that will also become data company selling protection. Data company selling protection, selling risk management, selling covers, selling care, selling all sorts of stuff. Not just to call ourselves insurance company and other people are using our data to make far more money. Other people will use our data and they will go and raise $500 million. And the total asset, the net asset of our own company is less than $10 million. Except the fact that maybe because of capitalization, it becomes like $100 million, and somebody else is able to say, look, I'm an aggregator. I'm able to generate more customers for you. In fact, I'm able to help you manage your risk so that I can control your claims for you. And he set up a company, and he raises funds, and he's raising $500 million in our very high. And we that own the customers, that own the data, that generate it, that process it, that do all the work, we are not able to do that simply because we sit on the data, we're not using it. We sit on the data, we're not analyzing, we're not getting the best out of that data. So it's possible for us to sit on this big oil and it's never tapped and it's never used at all, and nothing will happen. For every data that is not used, it's just a waste. Somebody else will come tomorrow and use it and make the best out of it. So what are you doing with the data you have today? What are you doing with the data you sit on in your companies today? What are you doing with the data you gather from call center, customer service, underwriting, pricing, consumer experience, every area of our live business? What are we doing with that data today? So let's go to data mining. Data mining in summary. Let's not go into too much technicality. To make it very simple, it's the process of extracting useful information of large data repositories, meaning that you have many large data stored in different places in our businesses and becomes very large. Data mining is the process of extracting those data to make useful information out of it, to take insight out of this data for business decision. Data mining goes beyond just extracting the data. It includes all the techniques that will make this data to become prescriptive, predictive, such a way that you could actually project what's going to happen after a pattern of this particular data set. So the patterns must be actionable so that they may be used for enterprise decision making. And so some of the things we're going to be looking at today is just to see how do we set up a data firm? How do we set up data architecture? What do we need to do in order to ensure that we're able to also compete very well and expand our business by making the best use of data and data mining? Why data mining? There's a growth in online transaction processing. Everywhere, there's so much growth. All of us, just by sitting there, you are chatting. Some of us have taken pictures, we have sent to somebody. You have sent somebody to your office. You are saying, look, what are you doing? My technology guy, what are you doing with data around his area? You are challenging somebody. That's data. So much volume of information that is going everywhere. Somebody goes online on your social media page, making comments, making inquiry, making complaints, talking to you day and night. Those are all data, very useful data that can help us in our decision making. Somebody is saying that, look, what is the meaning of life insurance? He posts it on your Facebook, your social media account in the company. That's data. There's growth in online transaction. There's growth also because data is being captured easily through the mobile phones, and the mobile phones is constantly increasing in number. There are also growth because other similar products and services and other institutions are increasingly generating data for us. So you have, the more we have growth in banking, for example, banking, pension, other similar financial institutions, is going to be affecting the data growth in insurance as well. So for example, when banking is offering credit, then we're going to be having increase in credit life. We are going to be having people making more, comment to our own credit life system that will make us to change the way we configure even our policy. So growth in other sources also make data to grow. And of course, data is growing, but the cost of the tech gadget is reducing. The most laws say every 18 months, the cost of technology is halved. But in fact, right now, it's less than 18 months. Things have changed from most law. So, and then of course, we have competitive environment. The competition is not only insurance competing with insurance. The bigger competition is non-insurance competing with insurance without knowing it. The bigger competition is coming from the like of the tech and data-centric companies who are going to be thinking, what can I do without calling it life insurance? And I'll be covering people against personal accident, critical illness, and unfortunate case of going. They won't call it death. I just say, oh, passage. Just call it passage. Imagine just say passage, that this covers you while in party or in passage. So nobody will even know that he's talking about death. Nobody will even know he's talking about life insurance. And he would present this product so well, and everybody will just like it. Will not need to go for any license. It will just begin to create a solution that behaves exactly like life insurance product. I know we have investment-linked products right now, which is the thriving one, apart from the mandatory life insurance products, which again, the competition that will just come and behave as if they really don't understand what insurance is, and they will be selling investment-linked passage products. And before you know it, it's taking our business because it's using data, it's using tech, it's using data to be able to get away of business from us. So for me, it is not just insurance to insurance competition that is really, really great. It is the tech company that is the biggest threat. It's the people that use data well that is the bigger threat. And that is very important for every life insurance company to take up. And of course, we now have available tools and software, better than before, to be able to do effective data mining. So let's quickly look at analytics application in life insurance. First and foremost, it helps us to do fraud detection. You'll be able to do a lot of fraud detection to see patterns, abuse, people who perhaps really not the fake death, or people who actually ab initio actually enter into the insurance contract without the due qualification. Maybe somebody who is dead is actually listed in that particular insurance contract, and somebody is trying to get money on the back of that. Sometimes it is somebody who on terminal illness that get a fake cover so that they could make money. So a lot of fraud in insurance. Data mining enables us to be able to do fraud detection. And of course, it helps us to mitigate or minimize the impact. Also, in acquiring new businesses, in sustaining the existing business, in retaining existing business, in reducing lapse rates, data mining is helpful. And of course, in underwriting and pricing, which is where we understand data in insurance traditionally, when we are determining the pricing of the product, when we are configuring new product, when we are customizing new products. The 21st century does not want a generalized insurance product. The 21st century wants a customized product according to each person. It wants you to be able to design a life policy for me, not just life policy for everybody between age 24 and 48. Not just life policy in a generic sense. The 21st century is waiting for insurance company to be able to say, I'm going to customize a life policy according to your age, your preference, your geography, your many things about you, in such a way that by the time the system gets all the data around you, customize a policy for you. So you cannot compare your policy with another. There is no room for comparison because you are being served according to you. And as your lifestyle changes, also your policy changes. Adaptive policy. This is only possible when we run this sort of underwriting. It's not going to be just one person fixing rates and say this is valid for the next 2 years. Not one person will just say, well, I'm waiting for maybe the Association of Insurance Companies to tell us the next rate that we're going to use. No. It's going to be generated according to the need, the peculiarity of the person. That's one of the advantages of data mining. Some of these things might look remote or far away. It's not really far. And we've got to put our mind to it that said, look, within the next 12 months or 24 months, we must build a business system that is capable of doing underwriting according to individual. That will be able to profile the need of individual clients and give the right policy, the right cover, customized for such person. So, in terms of underwriting, we all are very familiar with the various underwriting risks that we take. That data science can actually help us a lot, and that makes the summary here is the fact that it gives us more precision in terms of underwriting. More precision, it adapts to relevant needs, and we are able to capture every area that is needed to be able to underwrite the policy well. Investment-linked products, life products, short-term, long-term, pension, different ones. It enables us to be able to underwrite to the specific need of each person when we have proper data mining in place. The same thing with pricing is right, and everything will become much more precise. Also in claims, of course, not only in fraud detection, also in managing the claims effectively. Very important, analytics helps. Marketing and distribution, as we discussed before, actuarial becomes a very, very interesting area. I will actually be calling it actuarial stroke data science. Because right now, more and more, you are going to be seeing technology, data system, driving a lot of actuarial function together with the actuary providing an investment decision and at a policy level. Also, it's very, very helpful in investment management, and it's very critical. Investment is a very critical part of life business. And so data science, data mining, data architecture analysis will enable us to be able to do much, much better with investment. And every other area of the business, human resources, operation, and technology, they are all driven by data. Talk about the lead generation system in peculiar manner to each individual. Data mining is going to be very helpful with that. And of course, persistency and lapsation, that is, in order for us to be able to retain the customer for a long time so that we can keep on renewing, we'll continue to require also data mining to be able to do this. All right. So I'm going to leave all of the benefits that data mining is going to offer life insurance business across board and just look at, so what do we do in the process? What's the process? So the first in the area of process is we must define proper requirements. What we call use case. It must be properly defined. What is it that we require? We don't just buy a software because it's a data mining tool. No. You must define proper requirement. You must engage with your technology person. Don't leave it to technology. It's not a technology business. It is the business manager's business. You as the business manager, you must be the one to say, look, I need this tool. I need this framework. I need this architecture to be able to drive my business. And so you engage the technology, you engage the expert, you sit down to look at the business requirement. You must define the requirement properly. I normally say that technology hardly fails, people fail. Most technology do good if you do it well. Technology only fails most of the time because the people who implement it fail. And how do they fail? They fail from user definition of the requirement. They fail from the design, the requirement gathering level. And of course, you also go into data mining, selection and collection, where you have different options of what to use to be able to, select the right data mining tool for yourself. My time is almost up, but I will have a few. Let me just, I will soon be out. Then, of course, because of the volume of data we gather, it's garbage in, garbage out. There must be data cleaning exercise. If your data is not correct, it will take a long time for the system to be able to learn correctly. And a lot of the prediction and a lot of the analysis and insight that the system is going to bring out of your business will be wrong. It's garbage in, garbage out. So it's important for us to have data cleaning in our existing database system. And it's important for us to get granular data, get a lot of the data from source. By the time you are acquiring a customer, even the prospecting process, we must get all the necessary data so that we can actually make the best use of it. And of course, deploy after selection and evaluate. Many times we don't evaluate the objectives against the system. We must be able to evaluate such a way that we get the benefit of that which we have invested into. And we are doing this evaluation on a continuous basis. And there is no time the business manager will take his or her eyes off the tech tool that you are using for data mining. Once you take your eyes off it, the business, you are going to be losing the value. It's not an autopilot. It's something you must constantly review, something you must constantly look at until you get the best out of it. And because it is not also static, it's something you must continually review from time to time. So evaluate, educate, execute, and examine on a continuous basis. Culture. Maybe the last point I mentioned on this before I stop is the culture. The culture of an organization is very important to the adoption of data-driven organization. And it has to start from the top. The tone must be from the top. If the top is not convinced the need of using data mining tools, proper structured data architecture to drive the business, everything else will fall apart. No data is a waste. We must have that culture. Every data is important. Every data is useful. Ensure you collect and collate all possible data, even the data that doesn't make sense. The security at the entrance of our office. Get the data of how he welcomes the customer. Get the data of how many people does he see pass by that doesn't enter the office, and how many people enter the office. Get the data of all the reports of people's comments, customers' feedback about every point in the value chain of our business. And of course, deploy the data warehouse platform that can properly collate our data. So there's data warehouse platform, a tool that has ability to put all of this data together and also help us to do insight building, insight generation. So you have different kind of tools, big Microsoft tools, Oracle tools, several other companies that have built very effective data mining tools. Do not just take a tool on the platform. Look at what is going to meet your own business requirements use. And of course, make it also very, very exciting. By the time you begin to do proper dashboard, few things that's going to make the top management and everybody that you talk to very excited, make it very colorful. Let it even be known to your customers that you're a data-driven organization. By the time you go to your customer and make a presentation of your new product to them, and they see that it is designed and customized for them, and it takes note of everything about them that they themselves may not have known, then they know that you are just starting to cover them and you have no competition with them. In conclusion, as we continue to seek profitable business, as we continue to seek how to expand our life insurance business, how to cover more people, because we are totally underpenetrated today. Life insurance business is very underpenetrated in our market. We need to engage analytics. We need to engage data mining. We need to take decision, both for expansion, both for profitability, both for, in fact, survival of our business. So when is the best time for us to begin to deploy this tool? And when are we going to start doing it? The way to get started is to quit talking about getting started, but just begin to do it. Thank you very much. And I wish you a very exciting, data-driven future in our business. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please still stay around a little bit. Do we have questions that you quickly like Mr. Adeniyi to respond to? Yes, I can see a hand there. Ushers, please, could you move the microphone? You may wish to have this. Come over.
Good afternoon. My name is Bingbe Olufemi. I'm the head of operations for Leadway Assurance. I've got two questions and possibly comments. The first one is about technology and the use of technology in organizations. In my experience, and I've been in the industry for just 4 years, I find that the industry, or at least many players in the industry, have not fully embraced technology yet. So I guess my question is, how do we encourage the industry as a whole to move in the digitization direction? The second question is around trust and gathering of data. One of the key challenges that I find is that there is a lack of trust, understandably so. So for example, you have clients that you need to insure, but you don't have enough data on that client to do what you need to do. So you really don't have a lot of data. And people are not giving their data because they believe that maybe you're going to poach their clients. So my question is, how do we create a situation in this industry where people begin to trust fellow colleagues or insurance companies or brokers or agents, all the people in the supply chain? How do we get to that position where we are trusting and we are providing data knowing that we are not going to use that data in a negative way against them? Those are my two questions. Thank you very much.
Do we take the questions together? Or just answer them as it comes?
Thank you. My name is Dr. Sakware. I'm coming from the Africa College of Insurance and Social Protection. I have also two questions to make. Thank you very much for a very insightful presentation. One question relates to the costs. From time to time, the issues related to technology, when it comes to financing the systems, the digitals, in our companies, it becomes costly. What can you say about the cost? The second thing is, the second question is about sustainability of the system. It appears from me that the systems which the companies adopt from time to time, they are either outdated because of the new technology, because of the new HR, if you like. For example, you have put 3 people in your IT department, but after 3 years, 5 years down the line, they are out of that knowledge which is required. How do we sustain a technology, digital, in our organization? Thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrew Okedurum. I'm from Tangerine Life. My question is, how do we build a central data system like we have the banking industry that have BVN and they're able to check people out and look at their financial transactions? How do we have that system in the insurance industry that will help us block some kind of leakages that we see in claims and underwriting and other of our processes? Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Wale Kadri. I work for AIO Insurance. Yeah, Dr. Thank you for the presentation. I actually like to know whether it's better to outsource the mining of your data or to build internal capabilities for it. Because if you actually get this thing right, it's actually going to assist the industry a lot, especially to understand our customers, the way they behave, what they want, and we can be able to come up with a product that is going to satisfy their needs. But I'd just like to know whether it is preferable to outsource these activities, or you can build in-house capabilities for it. Thank you.
Merci à la présentation de M. Topé, qui était très vivante. Ma préoccupation, c'est juste qu'il me confirme quelque chose. Est-ce que l'analyse des données aide à justifier une décision ou bien ça permet de prendre une décision? Voilà, je reprécise ma question. Voilà, ma question est simple. Je voulais simplement qu'il m'explique très bien à quel niveau est-ce que l'analyse des données aide les décideurs. Est-ce que ça permet de justifier une décision qui est en cours d'être prise ou bien elle est à la base de la décision? Vous avez compris ma question? Yes. Voilà, je disais, est-ce que l'analyse des données va servir pour justifier une décision qui est en cours d'être prise ou bien l'analyse des données va être à la base de la décision? Voilà. Donc c'est simple, c'est uniquement ma question.
Oui.
Sorry, are we done? Okay, one more.
Thank you for your presentation. My name is Steven. I work for Tangerine Life. It will have been very good if you've been given enough time for this important presentation. Because at the introduction, you said, is the oil now? And so if it's oil, then it's very critical and important to all of us. Yeah, but I hope we'll have an opportunity. I like your passion and the reality that you've put to it. Now, so I'll also ask two questions, or rather, comments. The first thing is, from your presentation, we realized that in Nigeria today, and maybe some part of Africa, retail has been the focus. If you're able to get retail well, be able to get the business well. And from your presentation, analyzing the data of the people, I'm meeting them at the point of Daniel regarding the product that relates to them will cause the business to flourish. Now, like the comment from Leadway, we have peculiar issue in this part of the world, and that is trusting ourselves relating to data. Very interesting. You say you are involved with NID, which I would say is a good project. Now, and the question is maybe not only to you, also to the association and maybe association outside the country. How can we now? So we've seen the importance of data, and based on the challenge that we have, there is a problem of trust of data. Now you've analyzed what will make the industry to grow if we have access to data. How do we coordinate? Now, also considering the challenge with trust, how do we coordinate the data? Somebody used the example of BVN. Now, information of everybody is available through that platform to bank customers, and all the banks have access to it. Now, it's important for us to look at how to dimension the problem. And at this kind of occasion, prefer solution. How do we get there to be able to ensure that we have a coordinated data? And because it will make our business to grow, and what we plan to achieve, we'll be able to achieve within a short time. So I wanted to throw some light, and considering the fact that you are involved in NID, and I think very laudable project. What can we do to be able to get this data like the banks have done and help ourselves? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ahmed Adamu. I work with National Insurance Commission. We are the people in charge of complaints. Along the line, we observe, especially relating to government policies, life policies, group life, data is a major issue, especially for government organizations to release data to the industry. There was a time the Commission had to look at the possibility of issuing a directives that no company should underwrite any policy without significant data to determine the risks, also the pricing. But along the line also, the industry has not been adequately pursuing it's in the best interest of the industry as well as the government. But we have seen some efforts along the line to circumvent that directives. Despite the fact that it is to our benefit, you must know the number of people, the name of the people, the identity of the people that you insure. It is also to be beneficial to the government, because the government will determine what is the pricing of the risks. If government will pay so amount year in, year out, with the payment of death benefit, without recruitment, so the pricing of that risk also is to the benefit of the government. But we have seen a situation whereby, in most cases, especially life companies, we have attended several meetings where government agencies, especially when we talk about military and paramilitary, that this concern about how will the industry utilize these data. So we must have to develop the trust. We must have to develop that, yes, if this data is given, it's going to be used for the purpose it is meant for. So we have to look at it from the point of view of the trust. We also have to end the trust as an industry. We must also have to ensure that whatever we are doing as a regulator, we are doing it for the best interest of this industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is James Awena. Talking about trust, personally, what I have observed seems to be the issue with the Data Protection Act. Part of it states that a data will be stored and used solely for the purpose for which it was intended. And there are specific time or period for which that data should be stored. And then people will complain and say they've been betrayed. And so next time you come, they have the apathy towards releasing the data. So that question, apart from going to you, I also want to direct it, maybe directly or indirectly, to the regulators. That what is it that the regulators will do or are doing to ensure the effective implementation of the Data Protection Act? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isaac Songo. I'm also from Africa College of Insurance and Social Protection. And I once got a chance to be a regulator, and how this is just a comment to see how the regulator can also influence insurance players to transform their manual operation or automate some of the processes. So I think the first thing that we should look at is the regulations. How does the regulation flexible in terms of allowing or encouraging insurance players to transform their manual operation into more digital way and make use of those data? I can give you an example, let's say from Kenya. Now they have established what they call Insurance Innovation Hub. And they'll be conducting this on an annual basis, whereby people innovate some digitech products, and of course it's under the umbrella of the regulators. Come to Tanzania, now every system that insurance company have need to be integrated with the regulatory system. So whether you have the system or you don't have, your data need to seamlessly flow to the regulator. So you have to buy the system. But now comes so in that case you see how the regulator encourage the insurance players now to automate their process. Now comes to the issue of how these insurance players capable of analyzing those data and make use of it, okay? So another thing you have challenge, because some of these jurisdictions have the minimum rates. Okay, so if you need motor, it's 3.5%, that's minimum. Whether I have a lot of data with regard to your vehicle, it will be of no use because the regulation is still there, it's 3.5%. So it's like you have data, then what? You're going to use those data for other purposes, but in terms of pricing, the rates are still fixed. And at the same time, the regulator requires you to have mandatory actuarial functions. So you see, the regulations play a vital role in making that, okay, you are having data, make use of those data to assist customer, to give them relevant product solutions, and of course, let the data speak for itself. So the regulation, that's how, in my opinion, it really need to be done. A huge effort needs to be done in the regulations to make sure that, okay, the data that are being collected are actively for the benefit of reducing burden of price to individual customers.
Thank you very much. My name is Akinshelu Abraham from KBL Insurance. The gentleman that just spoke last actually speak directly to what's in my mind. I think as regards to Nigeria, there's quite a lot of things that the regulators can actually do. There is a lot of greed. And I mean, when I say greed, people are extremely very selfish. Both the insurance company, both the regulators, they are not trying to do what is right. the intellectuality that has to do with the provision of, let's say, people developing ideas and all that, it's there. The basics are there. How to collect data are there. Examples are the banking industry. We can see it, and we see what the regulators are doing. Trust can come so cheap if the regulators are actually doing the right thing. But if the regulators are not doing the right thing, no matter how you conceptualize your idea and put it forward, there must always be an obstacle. And these obstacles will always be there. But if our regulators can actually do more, we can actually go a long way to get things done without more stress. So we need our regulators to actually help us open the borders of comfort, where a lot of people can do businesses, develop ideas, get more information. Company A can actually release data to company B. So I think the regulators, in my own point of view, has a lot more work to do here. Talk is always cheap in Nigeria. I don't think this is applicable to other African countries. I don't know. But from what he has said, he has given a perfect example of what is happening in Kenya. Is the same thing replicable in Nigeria? I don't think so. And this has actually been the issue over and over again. We keep on talking. Thank you very much.
So maybe you also help me with my own hard disk so that it won't get formatted before I look through the questions. Data mining. Let's do some data mining now too. Okay, let me quickly go through this and then I would like to thank our regulator for that comment. And I must sincerely appreciate the NICOM regulator in Nigeria, because when we started to embark on the project of NIID, NICOM at the same time wanted to do NIID, something similar. And when they saw what the operators had come together to do, thanks to all the CEO of insurance company, I was a technology CIO then in insurance in AXA, and NICOM trusted based on data provided. NICOM decided to step down their own projects for the operators to do NID. So, and I think that such must be commended as well as encouraged to continue to and to improve. And that takes me to the question from Kenya, or comment to say that the only way we can make regulators to support us in our data mining processes, technology-driven innovation, is to show them data. Regulator doesn't exist to hurt the operators. Otherwise, they will cease to exist. If there are no operators in the market, regulators also cease to exist. Their regulator is to protect the consumer interest and also to expand the business or to expand adoption. So I believe that if we engage our regulators more with quality data, data that makes sense, to show them, it may not be at once, but by the time we do it repeatedly, regulators will see reasons and they will also support us, and all of that will improve dramatically. Let me quickly go to again, a number of people have spoken on the trust issue, but I will just mention more that to improve trust, we also need to do what I call partnership. So in any community or ecosystem, there are people that are trusted, there are people that have less trust, higher trust, middle trust, and less trust. So, for example, in our own ecosystem, you will see that consumer trusts two institutions much more than others. Who are those two institutions, please? The banks. They give all the information to the banks. Which other institution do they trust? The telco. They trust the telco. Now, there's another institution they trust, only that institution is not well structured in terms of data. It's the doctors. If you tell lie to your lawyer, if you tell lie to your priest or to your imam, there's somebody you will not likely tell lies to. Who is that? Your doctor. Because something will tell you, if I lie to this guy and he gives me the wrong prescription, I may not be alive to correct my lies. So, partner with institutions that are trusted. That's all. That helps you to leap off from low level of trust to another higher level of trust. I will get into the second question about the technology gap. The gap in technology. A lot of us, we are very backward and all of that. That is to challenge the entire industry to say we need to upgrade our technology capabilities. And how do we do that? Train, expose our IT heads to modern technology capabilities of what can be done, what is possible all around us. Let us do that a lot, engage them. I hope that we sponsor a lot of IT managers to this conference. I hope that several conferences that will challenge them, we actually support them to do that. Sometimes change the portfolio of your IT manager to go and run the business as well. Okay, so by the way, I was the CIO of AXA, Mansa then, and I became the Director of Technology and Operations for years. That was when I built, together with my team in NIID. Then AXA decided that, look, this guy needs to do more to be able to expand the business through technology. Go and run the business. So I became the CEO of health insurance company. And kudos to AXA. It has been proven right that technology people are the best people to run insurance company in Nigeria. So by the way, and that you saw what is happening in the health insurance space today is all of that. And so that institution is more than convinced that data drives a business. More than convinced. So what am I saying in essence is that we can change perspective, we can improve perspective through training, awareness, challenging the people in technology, also engaging more people to be able to understand what this is. So let's not put aside our tech department. Cost. Major issues. And I've seen this over and over. My career spanned from manufacturing to financial services, conglomerates, and healthcare. And I've seen constantly people spend a lot on technology for two reasons. Technology itself, it can either be called expensive or not. It depends on how you manage it. It depends also on what are you using it to do. If you deploy technology without proper planning, proper use case, proper engagement from the beginning, you are going to spend very exorbitant amount of money and you will get little out of it. And I've seen people who creatively use technology well and they cannot say technology expensive. In my 21-year career, I have seen people who use technology well and up to date, they know that technology is not expensive compared to the benefits that they have derived from it. So it all depends on how we deploy it. Absolutely. And by the time you do your use case properly, you will know 3 decisions, which is part of the questions we have raised. You'll be able to arrive at 3 decisions. 1, should I insource or outsource? It is not everything that you have to outsource, neither everything you have to insource. It depends on your use case. It depends on your capabilities. It depends on a lot of factors, including regulatory requirement. If sometimes the DP Act or NDPR requires you to insource certain information, your use case will determine what is the best methodology in doing this. And that is, I have many examples to share with us to let us know that technology really fails. People fail. If you don't remember anything, please remember this as you go. Challenge all the people who manage your technology. Technology really fails. It's people that fail. And it's from the beginning. It's from conception. Use case, business requirement, the design, the implementation, the review, and the ongoing monitoring. So that helps us on cost issues. So you could, if we sit down properly, you'll be able to see and get advice where needs to be, maybe from some consultant, not too expensive one that can give you some insight. There's a lot of information also on the internet to guide you. There are small institutions that will give you very clear guidelines on how you are going to go about many things, and you will get it done. So cost is relative. It depends on your business case. It depends on how you implement it, and your decision will be based largely on your use case and also the competencies that is available or that are available in your organizations. Sustainability point. Yes. Sustainability is a big issue because technology changes at the speed of thought, no longer at the speed of light. So as we are sitting down right now, and we are talking about data architecture, maybe a Power BI and some analytic tools and all of those stuff, there is technology innovation that is happening right now in IBM, which is talking about what they are envisaging in the next 10 years. Technology is changing. You will see something coming out fresh that is going to affect fintech next year. It's going to affect different areas of the landscape. So technology will continue to change. So how do we get ourselves sustained? To be honest with you, we must continue to innovate. There is no time, before now, when I went to the business school, strategy is called long-term, 5 to 10 years. How many of us went there in that time? I believe many of us, 5 to 10 years. Vision. We close our eyes. Accenture of this world said, think, see, the next 20 years, the next 30 years. Today, while you will think the next 50 years, you again think again within the next what? Every year afterward, you must rethink. True of us. Because technology is changing, the world is changing. So the way to ensure sustainability, first and foremost, is that we continue to innovate. We continue to sit down and innovate and rethink our business, rethink our tools, rethink our methodologies, rethink our strategy all the time. And I will challenge you to say, engage younger people in your strategy build-up from time to time. Engage younger people. Many times we do strategy top-down. Also begin to do bottom-up and middle-up, middle-down, and all of that. Central data system in insurance is possible. We are proving it in Nigeria. NID is a good case. We can go beyond motor fraud detection in an NID. The objective is that we move from there to claim detection, just like CUE in the UK. We can move to the next level. In fact, it's not regulator, I'm bold to say, that is hindering us from doing CUE. I was there in 2011 that I got the permission of the regulator to build this with my team, and the goal is to move from NID of motor to CUE and to all other things, particularly of the compulsory insurance. So I challenge the operators to do that. I'm also part of the operator. I'm a director in AXA. How do we coordinate ourselves to be able to get this done? NIA and all of the, is it KIA as well in Kenya? In all other parts of Africa, all the association, I think we should work together, because in the working together and building a central database, we're going to win big. Insurance penetration is so low that the more we work together, the bigger we will get. Less than 8% of the entire Africa is covered, and so we're going to win big when we come and put our heads together. Data protection Act implementation, I think that's a very good point. But to be honest with you, use data for the intended action does not negate the innovative and the very exciting way of collecting data. It is for the intended action of protection, intended action of covering the patient, the customer. So whatever we get from that customer, it is still for the intended action. Forgive me, I mentioned patient. I work so much with health insurance now that every of my presentation we either talk about patient or a customer. Don't worry, you are all customers, not patients today. Again, regulators to be more open. Thank you very much. We will continue to appeal to our regulators to help us, particularly on things that have rates. I believe that with more data engaging with the regulator, they will be more open and they will give us more latitude to operate. The final question I will quickly touch is the French question. Is data analysis important for all decisions to be taken? I would say that if we want quality decision, if we want to make sure the decision is very, very good in the best interest of the business, in the best interest of the stakeholders, customers, and all other stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, and regulators, and the society where we operate, then analyze your data, use data very well. You could take decision without data, but the consequences can be far-reaching because you are going to either sub-optimize or make it the whole system. So if you want the best, you want to make a best decision for the interest of all the stakeholders, do your data analysis before you take business decisions. Thank you.
Please, can we appreciate Tope Adeniyi again? Thank you very much. That was a very insightful paper. We appreciate you so much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think where you have a comment? Okay.
Thank you very much. Sorry, initially I didn't want to comment, but for obvious reasons, because of some questions and comments being raised, I needed to clarify a few things. First of all, I'm sure some people spoke based on lack of information. I'm happy that the DG NIA is here. She can attest to the fact on what the Commission is doing on data, making sure that we have, that's what I mean we, the operators, have the right data for particularly this group life insurance. Recall at a point, sorry, first of all, my name is Leo Aka, I work for National Insurance Commission. At a point, the Commission issued a circular directing the operators to ensure that you must have adequate data for you to undertake any insurance, particularly life insurance. And we had focus on at that point on group life, knowing that you do not have the right data to underwrite this risk, this all-important risk. But as a responsible regulator, we are also aware the challenges you are facing. Not quite long ago, we have engaged the ministry. We had a tripartite meeting. The NIA was represented, the operators who were there, the government side was there too. And we made sure we had to let them understand the importance of this data. So it's not a case of the Commission is not doing enough. There's so much, that circular we issued, nobody has been sanctioned. Despite the fact we know that you are not having that data. But because we are aware of the challenge you are having, we have to support that because we know that you require this data. This data is not being made available to you, not because you do not want it, so to say, but because of the government side, there are some challenges they are having. So it would be wrong to say here that, oh, we are not supporting. Right now, the National Insurance Commission has the portal is now on, is functioning, and I'm sure going forward, we will, through that portal, there's practically no information you will want that will not be available.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate that. National Insurance Commission is doing a lot, and we agree. The largest room in life is the room of improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to drop the anchor here, but I need to give you some insight into what is happening after now. At 7 p.m., we will reconverge for dinner at this very auspicious venue. And tomorrow, if if you flip to your program, tomorrow we shall be having the AIO General Assembly. Shortly after that, there will be lunch. But most significantly, you recall that yesterday some papers were postponed. Those papers will be coming up tomorrow. And those papers are the AIO Live Seminar themed, Embracing Innovation for Insurance Inclusivity. That will be taken tomorrow. We equally have some very, very exciting seminars that it wouldn't be nice for anyone to miss for anything. We would have the live seminar focusing on the theme, improving distribution channels through innovation in a digital world. The speaker is quite ready and prepared to dish it out to us. We'll also, in the same chain of a live seminar, we'll be talking about life insurance penetration. Levels remain very low in Africa. Where are we getting it wrong? That's a poser that will only be unraveled tomorrow. So please, ladies and gentlemen, let's be timely tomorrow in line with the programs that we all have with us so that we can conserve some time tomorrow, which is the grand finale of this very great 47th AIO conference. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you for your patience. I appreciate you for being here with your esteemed presence since morning. Hoping to see you again at 7 p.m. right in this same auditorium for dinner. Thank you, and God bless you. Tomorrow we're expected to converge on this same place at 9 a.m. please. 9 a.m. Thank you very much. God bless you all. After lunch? Yes. Live event after lunch tomorrow. Yes, I announced. Thank you.
Time for the live lecture now, you announce. Please announce it. Could not able to go for General Assembly.
That's a true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the live lectures will be by 2 p.m. tomorrow. Please, that's after lunch here. Venue here. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you. Right in this auditorium, the live seminars. Thank you.